live and we'll be discussing about photo shoots for adults, photography for adults, videos for adults, and I will be answering few questions. But the most unpopular question what I receive on my website is about the pricing. Pricing for individuals for erotic photo shoots, pricing for guys, males, pricing for her, for females, for ladies, and pricing for couples, right? That's the most popular question. Because when they speak about services, they want to know about the price. When they're inquiring about the photo shoot, they want to know how much it costs, right? And that's something what I'm going to discuss today and try to explain as much as possible, right? Just recently, I had this conversation with one model, right? He's not a model yet, but when you see, when you're considering erotic photo shoots, right, there are two types of clients. One type is a personal, right, adventure, personal adventure, and the other type of client, there are business photo shoot people who use photography, sexy pictures to make money. Okay, to make money, right? To be popular, to make money. So today I will discuss both options, okay? Because I shoot most of the time now people who are general public, individuals, ladies who shooting for their husband or for their boyfriend, right? The guys who would like to experience different side of them. There are guys who wanna try a feminine side. There are guys who wanna just push the limits and create nude photography or explicit photography, right? And tick it on the bucket list. You know, different kind of challenges men likes, and of course there is a couple, and a couple would like to create erotic scenarios in a different range and format. Okay, some couples would like just sexy pictures and nude photography, but nothing intimate too much. Okay, nothing, you know, how to say, no making love, no hardcore scenes in my studio. Okay, that's one point. There is another point and there is another opinion that they would like to have, erotic and sexual content and fantasy scenes. There are many of couples like that who would want unlimited shoot. Okay, they don't want to limit themselves. They want to create and photography and videos, and they want to create everything what they do, in their love life, and remember that, and of course get excited. Okay, and the guys especially feel the thrill, when it takes to creating adult movies. Okay, and making erotic scenarios, fantasy scenarios, right? So this is something I'm going to discuss today. I'm going back to this option, right? The option is the first option is for business, and for business usually people shoot models, shoot portfolios, and someone who is more advanced, they already shoot something more than that, right? They already have created their accounts, right? And they want to entertain the public, the regulars, the subscribers, the people who are paying for watching them, right? Online businesses, others watching you. Okay, it's like, it's very similar, like now you are watching me. Okay, so that's what it is. It's just they're making money from this, right? So they're creating different kinds of fantasies, what their clients are booking, liking, or asking. Okay, and then they're uploading this content. So today I spoke with one male guy, and he is gay. Okay, and he's making erotic portfolio for guys. Of course, he would like to meet a lot of men and have this his hobby matched with the financial contribution, right? People will contribute to his fantasy and to his life, right? And he will meet, of course, a lot of other men, right? That's what is the agenda, okay? To create sexy pictures and attract more males, okay? And we are booking the shoot with him, and he is starting out, and I'm advising him because he has a limited budget, I'm advising him an escort portfolio. Okay, an escort portfolio is a starting out point. Okay, if you will go to fashion and you would go to become a model, you will need around 12 images. Okay, agency would ask you. If you go to escort agency, they want less. Okay, it's enough to have 6 hot and sexy pictures, and you will start making money. Okay, so I was talking about this with this guy and saying that you need a basic portfolio. If you do not have a significant budget, that's what you should start, And he's saying, I would like a video as well. I said, not a problem, we can do a video for you as well, okay? And then he's writing me later saying, but I am going to give my all and I wanna shoot all the fantasies and I wanna try, as much as possible, push the limits, okay? And that's the thing, about adult business and in general, creating anything what is adult content. Okay, the thing is this, that every service is payable. You see, when you have a standard package, it's a standard package, but there are a lot of extras in adult business, right? To create something not standard, your fantasy like, it's always an extra. Okay, and if you're doing this for free, you're more like, a charity organization and not a business, right? So imagine there is an escort, right? And they don't do kissing, but maybe they provide kissing, French kissing, for extra, okay, for extra, and that's an option, right? So they will take extra money to provide a certain service, and there are more services like that, right? So I'm talking with this guy, and he's saying, I would like, to do something more for my clients than just the standard pictures and shoots on the video. And I'm saying him this, that adult service is priced accordingly. Okay, and if we are creating a portfolio for you, initial portfolio, we will just show and present you in a different, background format. You can, change some outfits and pose and act out a little bit, right? And that would be one price. Okay, but if you are planning to stretch your anus for 1 hour, that's gonna be another price. It's a totally different video. Okay, so what I'm saying is here that when you're shooting adult content, right, the friskier, the riskier it gets, the more pricier it gets. That's what it is about, creating photography with adults and for adults. Okay, so you can shoot a dressed scenario, you can shoot a semi-nude scenario, right? And that would be one price. Okay, but when my clients would like to push the limits and try something, extraordinary, accordingly, I will price this fantasy. It's as simple as that. And there are people who do not understand this. They think that they will pay, for erotic photo shoot, and then they can do anything, like literally anything, right? And that's not true. That is why when it comes to pricing, okay, I always need to know more information because people, when they say, oh, we are a couple and we would like to create hot and sexy pictures, maybe some scenarios, can you give us a price, right? There are much more than that, okay, because there are different couples, they have different plans about the photo shoot. Some are very scared and some are very brave. Okay. And with those who are nervous and scared, okay, I also burn a lot of calories to create a great content because when they are feeling awkward and when are nervous, it is it's like harder, they're more stiff, they're more, like frozen. I need to test with them more and push them, always. There are couples who are very brave, okay, but they say, oh, we would like something similar, something simple, something, classic, and then they go into certain scenarios that there is extras, only extras, right? Because erotic fantasies, you see, when we go out there, it can reach different kind of limits, and people climax in a different way, right? So everything accounts accordingly. So let me just read out few questions about erotic photo shoots, what people are asking, and I am answering today about I'm talking about photography and the pricing for adults, right? And different photography for adults is available, right? You know that people are getting shy when it takes to undress, and when they're undressing, they are practicing, right? They're practicing their confidence, they're practicing and connecting with themselves, seeing themselves, right? Acting out certain things, performing, right? Practicing sensually and sexually certain scenarios. Okay, trying new things in front of the camera. Okay, trying new things with me as well. Okay, so they are being brave. Okay, and they're working on their presence, they're working on their confidence, they're working on their control, right? Arousal, okay, and doing, things that they would usually not do, okay. That's what's happening in my studio, okay. So I am talking right now, and I will be answering to some questions shortly. So ask me about erotica, ask me about boudoir, ask me about nude photography, photo shoots with hot and sexy models, okay, erotic fantasies, and of course, photo shoots for couples and video shoots. Okay, I'm answering to those questions. So you can see one message. This woman is 20 plus over. The woman on here and talking to men, not one can even communicate. As a child on this. If I would understand, I could explain, but that's not even a question. Okay, so if you have a question, just make sure you have a question mark at the end of the question, because sometimes it looks like your statement. Okay, there is another one. Let me take this. How many times have you played the mistress? And be honest. Why do you think that someone is playing her mistress? So I'm talking about photography, okay? And you confusing it with another channel. Okay, so today the topic is about adult photography, okay? And if there is any questions about fetish photography or BDSM photography, I am happy to answer that as well. Okay, and in terms of mistress, we have models, okay, who can join my clients on a special events or on a special adventures, okay. So we hire adult models, and adult models are tantric models, escort models, hand models, and of course dominatrix. Okay, so dominatrix, it's related with the mistress fantasy scenarios, right? And there, that's what's happening, right? People can experience a different photo shoot and have their fantasy coming alive. Sometimes people just imagine things, and when it happens for real, you're telling your brain that you can do it, and every fantasy can actually be achieved, okay. And that's a very good practice, okay, for your mind. Okay, let me just, that love gave me away though, that love gave it away though. You know what is going on. Many women here silly and foolish. You know your work. Okay, still not a question. Right? I'd like to see your photo energy. Okay. So photography in general, depending on the way how you do it, okay, it has to contain the energy. But different photographers taking it differently. For example, for some, it's just a business, right? When you take what example I can take? Food industry. Okay, there are people who are Michelin stars restaurants, and they're seriously about their menu, and they creating in there. There are chefs who are creating their menus, and the other chefs are cooking the menus that the other chefs creating. Okay, that's an option, right? But there are different food industries like McDonald's. Okay, McDonald's, do you think they care? Okay, about the food in general, right? Maybe it's too harsh, and there was a time when it was a novelty and people felt excited, and especially children, right, about this unhealthy food or fast food. But fast food leaves an aftertaste. Okay, if you, especially if you are aware, okay, of the sensation and aware of the food, right? It's the same like intimacy, right? There are ways to have this intimacy deeper and harder and better, and there are people who just doing it, right? You just, get over with situation. So there are different foods, right? If I'm talking about sexuality, not many can understand, but maybe when I jump on on this topic, yeah, then it will be clearer, right? It will be clearer. So like I say, today I'm answering two questions, and I'm reading out a few questions which I have here prepared, right? Okay, thanks for your reply. Our favorite fantasy would be my wife and are having fun in our bedroom. She asks me to be kinky and ties me naked to a chair. Once I'm restrained, she tells me she has a surprise for me. To my shock, she brings a black guy. This is a fantasy, right? And I'm here to watch helpless. What will be next? Okay, so we can see that this question or this scenario, right? It's about so-called fantasy shoot. Okay, and there are people who would like to create erotic fantasy, and they are not able to share it or open up, or it's still a taboo for them, so they are checking the ground. Okay, so first of all, they text me a message about that they would like a special, very unique session. Okay. And then I replied, and only then they're opening up and telling me what is this about and how they are seeing it. Okay. So there are couples who would like to create erotic fantasy, okay, in a couple style. And that means that the husband is ready to share his wife. Okay. And that is something what it takes their relationship and intimacy to another level. Okay, that's what they need. There are different people out there, and they stimulate their own mind in a different way. Okay, when it comes to co-hold or sharing fantasy, okay, and when people are matching and meeting, okay, they're matching on the certain frequency and a certain vibration, it means that she is okay with this, and she is interested, and she is excited about this, about this opportunity. And what happens with the guy most of the time, if you would discuss with a psychotherapist, you would maybe find out that in a childhood, when he was a little boy, he might be in love in someone who chose another guy, and he couldn't be with this girl. And we had those crushes, sometimes, I remember my crush with a teacher. And he was so handsome, and he was so pretty, and what he was teaching a topic is Christianity, and he was talking about the Bible, and he was so gorgeous, right? So I remember this moment. Other people have different kind of experiences in different moments, but in that moment, when you are not in a control, when you cannot have it, cannot take it, do not have this opportunity, right? Sometimes people just get so much disappointed unconsciously, right? But when they grow up, they have this erotica as a repair. This fantasy comes to their mind. Okay, it doesn't mean that they will practice this forever. Okay, they will do it till it will happen, and till it will be fixed and erased and changed with another fantasy. Okay, it's like climbing to a mountain. As soon as you got to the top of the mountain, you're thinking about another mountain. Okay, that's how it is, right? So that's the question about erotic fantasy with a model, right? With the model. So there will be someone else in this shoot, and the couple would like to have it in their home at the location, right? So usually when I'm creating the scenarios in the locations, I would bring an assistant, okay, and we will collect the deposit and we will find out where is going to be a location, where is going to be a shoot, and we will just agree on that shoot. Most of the time, Coco Fantasy shoot made in photography and in videography format, okay, because they want to see it every moment. Photography, when you create in erotica, it's perfect when you shooting stage and acting out scenarios. Okay, when this is a very raw and freestyle experience because you don't know what this guy will do. Okay, you just invite someone and then you don't know what will be the situation, how people going to feel, how people will going to act, how they will respond in a certain action or in the certain word. Okay, and so this is all the shoot which will be exciting, okay, because it's unknown, right? Most of the time studios, when they shoot a certain scenarios, they plan it, okay? It's like a dance, they're dancing a dance and they know it, right? So the first step, the second step, the third step, right? That's how it works. And I do create those photo shoots. But you see, when you're shooting a freestyle, it's more fun. It's real art. It's real energy because you're not aware what will happen. You cannot predict how long it will take. Okay, you cannot predict what exactly we are going to shoot and how it's gonna go. Okay, you cannot predict how the husband will react. Okay, you cannot predict how couple, how to say, will experience this and what will model will do and how the wife she will enjoy it or what will happen. You can't predict those things, right? So this type of photo shoot for me, it's a premium experience. When I was talking at the beginning of the shoot about the pricing and about extras, this is that moment, okay, when you can't really charge for something that you actually have not shot yet, okay, you have not created even this, yet. You don't know how many pictures, I don't know, I don't know. I don't know how many pictures I will make. I don't know how long is going to be the video. I don't know how many scenes we will be able to create. Okay, so there are many things what I don't know about it, and that's why it is perfect for this term. For this term, that it's unlimited shoot. Okay, no limitations, and it's a premium service. Okay, and when it comes to a premium service, it's between 5 to 10K. Okay, the full adventure. It's a lovely idea. It's a lovely erotic fantasy, okay? And what can I say? Budget people and people who has a limited access, they would not be, they would have to go around it because you see, photo shoot itself consists of the part when you're preparing, and here the main preparation would be the wife, okay, because she would need to look very nice. Usually, wife will take in makeovers and very sexy outfits, and we will just work on that, okay? And then I will be working with the model towards preparing him, okay? Checking, his health, right? Communicating with him on the couple's behalf, making sure that the model arrives on time and ready, and in a good mood and dressed well and so on, right? Models usually collect the deposit for this session, okay. And what can I say about this, that models are paid in full on the day. So when it comes to me, right, when we're shooting in the studio is one price, when we're shooting on the location is another price, okay. But I want to tell you that in this photo shoot there will be 3 people involved, right? It will be a husband, it will be a wife, and it will be a model, a lover, right? That's what it is. Okay, so they will be charged, the couple will be charged for 3 people shooting erotic scenes and scenarios, right? And then when we create an artwork, there will be another part which is post production. And post production is the most time consuming part, you know? So that's how it goes in general, creating erotic photo shoot and making making fantasies for adults. Okay, right. Okay, let me just quickly read the number one, what I just have here. Photoshoot info. Okay, let me check what are these questions here coming. Okay, sure, I'll be waiting. What is this about? Okay, I wear adult diapers now. Can you please help me? You see, there are people in a different dimension, okay, and there are different levels of people, okay, and some people do not just understand what is going on; they do not even understand where they are, you know. So, so I like to know every time when I read out, okay, what people are writing, they telling me who they are, you know, and what is mental state is of everyone, okay. So then I know what's happening on this life, and everyone who is presenting themselves with their ideas or with their words, telling their development level, okay. So that's the only thing that I can say. Okay, love your voice. Thank you so much. Very rare. It's so well promotional and how and measures. I don't know if that's a question. Promotional. Yes, that is a promotional video because I speak about my business, right? I am a creative studio for adults. I have a private studio in West London, and I discuss and talk about photo shoots. Photo shoots, what people are interested in when they contacting my studio. Okay, so of course it's a promotional video. Why would I waste my time for something else? Right, but yes, I am in the same time I'm letting you know, okay, what people are interested in, okay, and what they are doing, you know, how they are busy, how they find adventures for themselves, okay, about their leisure time, right, how they enjoy themselves, right, so that's the thing. I am interested in everything. Good, good. If you are interested, you can ask me questions and I can tell you more. Okay? What exactly? Wedding dresses, wedding rings, and wedding bells. I don't do wedding photography. I can tell you this. I have tried. Okay? I have tried. I've tested and I have done many styles of the photography. Okay, I do erotic photo shoot with the wedding attributes. Okay, there are people who want to celebrate anniversary and they still kept their wedding dresses and the wedding suit, and they arriving to my studio to make an erotic shoot. Okay, and we're shooting in this wedding dress which you know, maybe they used 5 years ago or 10 years ago and kept it, but we shoot in the way that we create an adult scenarios with it, okay, like a bridal erotic scenes, which is really fun for me. Okay, so that's how I shoot weddings. I'm interested in you. I'd love to explore you. Okay, you know, in general, my business is a very big part of me. Okay, because this is only me who creates this. If they would not be, how to say, if they would not come to me, they would not have this content available, you know. So of course my art reflects a part of me, and there is me in there, okay. But most of the time I am a mirror, okay, who has a feeling about these people and trying to present them in their special way, because everyone is extremely unique when it comes to adult fantasies, erotic fantasies, okay. And when I come and speak about uniqueness, I mean, like, I am able to open their mind and I am able to access the information that they shy to tell someone else. I'm able to have that intimate conversation with an individual or a couple, and they are easily translating what they think, okay, how they feel, what are their fantasies. Okay, so that is my uniqueness, because I am making people perform and show the things that they would be not able to show with anyone else. You know, they come in prepared to do certain things, but I'm able to push them and do more. Okay, so I'm able to surprise them. Okay, that's my maybe special thing, you know. How do you enjoy yourself, and how can we get to you and make a movie with you? How do you enjoy yourself? Okay, if you're talking about do I enjoy myself during the photo shoot, the answer will be maybe not enjoy, but maybe I am able at that moment to connect with that highest creative, energy. When I am shooting and then after a shoot, I have to go and look at the files because I do not remember. That's how much I am able to. I don't know how to explain this. This is a very special feeling. And not with every couple I'm able to travel somewhere, right? But I'm very glad that people who arrive to my studio, they're ready. Okay, they're ready for change, they're ready for something more valuable in their life, right? Because you see, we can just have a daily life, day after day, and live the same, or we can just change something about us and about life. And the change is not straightforward, it doesn't come from outside. The change initiated here. Again, the first thing that people have to change is something what is here, and then it escalates into your surface and everywhere around you. Okay, and when people are looking, and social media is that place where everyone is looking, you know they keep looking for something. They're looking for a better life, for more education, for more knowledge, for something, sensual, for maybe some kind of a compassion, someone to understand them. They keep looking, you know in search, in a constant search. But the answers are here, and you know everything already. You're just not able to access that information. Simple as that. Okay? That's how it is. That's why not everyone can do this, you know? So I am not myself, okay? Because when I'm in normal life, I am different. When I'm going into creative mode, of course I change. I change. I even change when I speak about erotica. My face changes. Everything changes, so we change. And if we speak about the change, I can tell you when people go into a highest sexual vibration, no matter how old they are, they change. That's why I'm taking a picture of that and making a video so that they can see themselves, because they become much younger, you know? They become a different personality at that moment. And that's what I want to capture. I want to capture real emotion and real moment when they are not thinking about anything, when they are not worrying, when they are not concerned, we are not planning anything, we are not in control, when they are not holding, by the handle, right? When they free, that's the moment. That's why you need a lot of pictures. When it comes to erotic photo shoot, people always ask how many pictures you can give. And this usual question comes from the studios who create portraits, you know, who create portraits, who create portfolios, who do totally different things. To go into a sexual and intimate vibration, you cannot calculate the pictures, how many pictures you make. This is like step by step shot. And some people reach it at the shot 15, some people need 150 pictures, and some people need 300 shots to actually vibrate and feel and be there. Okay. And I give all the shots because they need to see their journey that I've documented for them. This is their analysis of their adulthood. This is their being, how to say, coming from the point when they're insecure and scared and nervous. There is always a beginning point. You know, when you check before and after, that's a perfect example is this photo shoot, because there is a very clear image of before, and then it's a very drastic change, okay, after. Because when after, they feel relieved, their face is more relaxed, they get rid of all these imperfections what's stuck in their heads, right? Because they adults should not be worrying about anything. They should appreciate who they are, how they look, thank their body, thank themselves. They have, you know, function of the body, right? The flesh, they feel can create a sensation, can create an arousal, can be horny, great. Okay, seriously, there will be a time when you will not be able, you know. So that's why couples, you know, want to come and connect and try to create something more than they, you know, when they can for themselves, to freeze that moment, to memorize it, to record it, to flip that, you know, moment into a stable, like solid memory of them being together, loving each other, being passionate with each other, right? Desiring, you know, wanting to experiment, have a lot of life, vibrancy inside, aliveness just flowing, you know, they want to do it. They like this energy is changing in the room when people are having intimacy in the bedroom, and I am recording everything. I can tell you it's hot in there. It's hot, and sometimes the air becomes very thick, and the air becomes very thin, and the smell changes, and the sounds happening. Okay, not every photography studio allows you to reach that climax, to go all the way, and I do. And this is my journey with everyone, because I am so much close to them. I'm not undressed, I'm not, you know, they're not inside me, but I can feel what they feel just being next to them, you know. And some people extremely energize me. I'm feeling very, you know, whew, after the shoot, right? I'm up, right? But with some people, I'm down and I'm exhausted and I don't want to even look at the shoot. I'm tired, you know? So, different personality brings different energy. And that I also want to keep and bring to your attention. Because when there are people who are negative, right? And negative, I don't mean that they are rude, you know, or offensive or something. I don't mean that. The negative energy in general could be that you are not enough, okay, that you think that you are not worthy, you think that you are not sexy, you think that you know, you cannot do this, or you fat, this is kind of an energy. And then the photo shoot being usually is dedicated to change this, okay, opinion, so that the person will start vibrating with the positive energy, because sexuality is only in the positive energy. Okay, you cannot take a sexy picture of a person who is feel unworthy, okay, who is thinking that he's disgusting, that he is not photogenic, that something is wrong with him, okay, and it's just like pure unpleasant thing comes from that, you know. Someone made him think this way, okay. He wasn't born like this, okay. We all born and we all feel free, and we all, when we grow up, we just we reach our fantasies, what we think, that's what we want to, to achieve and accomplish, and then we control ourselves, right? Other people put us in a box and pressure, pressure, pressure. This not allowed, this not okay, this, and then you will get this, and that's what happens. And when they come to a photo shoot, they can't stretch, they can't, open their chest, they feel scared to touch themselves. What if someone will think something? What if they reveal too much? What if their orgasm will be too strong? They do not allow themselves even to come. Okay, like there is no abundance, right? So all limited, all squeezed, all measured, all calculated, this type of thing. Creative energy is sexual energy. You was made from a creative energy. Okay, and sexuality in general represents confidence, represents your value, represents the business, right? Represents the money, represents your health state, right? The way you feel, right? That's all that it is. So I just want to know it's very important. It's very important and should be taken to attention, right? Let me check the questions now. Okay. How do you enjoy? Okay, it's been there. 49 questions, messages. 49. Very nice. Okay, let me just see what that is. Photo shoot energy. Ask for tips. What's that is? Okay. No one could ever cut it, yet as men profoundly needing to hear totally. Okay, if you needed to hear, then you're in the right place. Love your passion. Thank you, thank you. Okay, that's the question. Farsi Baladid. Have no idea, don't speak this language. Sweet. Sunshine, hope you have a beautiful day as you do. Actually had a very nice day. Thank you. Very beautiful and classy. Okay, this is my bra size. Okay, who is thinking about Mom? Damn, she talks a lot. This is my channel, you know? This is my channel. It's like I'm at home. Okay, when I'm at home, I can do whatever I want. Okay, my casa. That's what that is. Okay, she's so fine. Okay, so you chatting with yourself. How can I meet you? Okay, so these lives are created to provide more information for people who find me online, okay, to get them thinking, maybe to remember something about themselves, right? And of course, I am covering here another topic, which is questions from other people who are leaving these messages on my website. Okay. My wife and I are interested in knowing what information on the men that you work with to be in a video for a married couple. What is this question? What information for the men you work with to be in a video for a married couple? I think this is a twisted question. Okay, in this question, it's clearly it comes from a married couple asking about the other men who I work with. Okay, so I assume this is again a couple fantasy shoot. Okay, it's just people cannot say it. So when it comes to fantasies and when it comes to sexuality and erotica and intimacy, people are so shy, okay, and so scared, okay, and so nervous to even say this, to even tell, right? So they rounding in the circles and going round and round, okay, till and leaving me to figure this out. Okay, there are these questions like that, but most of the time I can tell you, even on the phone, even if someone comes with me on the phone to discuss and a photo shoot, and when I ask questions, they stumble and they get choked. Okay, like and then I ask, how old are you? And they say they're 30, they're 40s, and they're in the 50s, and they're still apologetic and shy and feeling awkward when they're talking about their body, their intimacy, or their fantasy. Yes. So my channel, you see, is for people who feel this way, and that's the first revelation, right? Because it's the way to a freedom. When you do not feel the sensations, right? When you're discussing these topics and you are an adult, you are allowed to talk about this. You are allowed to think about this, right? About intimate stuff and erotica and adult fantasies. I am allowing everyone to discuss this, okay? And ask questions, right? Do you see me here being shy or scared or nervous, right? So I am vibrating at that moment in the adult energy when I am opening this topic with you, okay? People who are feeling nervous and shy, okay, they vibrating in the child's energy, okay, because children is scared to talk about this. This is not them. This is not their topic, okay. They're nervous, they're scared, they're afraid to undress, okay, they're freaking out even before the photo shoot. What will happen to them? Okay, it's like a danger, it's like a threat for them, okay, and that's unhealthy. So all these feelings are negative emotions inside of you, and they're sitting there and you do not know about it. It's just you feel this way. So how is it you think your intimate life would look if you were acting this way? You know, if you are vibrating this way. And how is it we're going to change the life from this, I have to say, before it was an obesity a problem, and now it's a single people, lonely single people who are convinced that, this is end for them, or they don't need anyone, they're okay with themselves, you know? I want to change this because it's changing in here first, okay? And then you allow yourself to let other people in. And people are not created to be by themselves. In general, we are designed to have someone, okay? We would not be able to prolong the life if we would not have someone. There will be no children. And our planet will come to the end, okay? So that's, the sexual energy is the right energy you have to feel in your body when you're an adult. The problem is when you are an adult and you are still vibrating with your child's energy. That is the problem. That is when you do not allow yourself to represent yourself, to connect with someone, to show your sexual markers, right? To be confident in what you're doing, okay? You are allowing yourself not to think that something is wrong with you, because when you think that something is wrong with you, or you're too fat, or this or that, then your mind, or this unconscious mind, it just locks your reproduction system, and they think that you are ill. And when you are ill, then automatically you do not want anything, it is fine by yourself, and so on. So that's what's happening. It's like a trap, you know? It's like a trap, and then you would see there are many people fall into this trap, and the older you will get, the lonelier the world looks around you, okay? Because, in that generation, when they grow up, they had a certain coding. And the coding, I mean the information that they've been provided with, okay? And with that information, then they living their life. Thanks God we have a different generation. It's just for this generation is happening different things. Because you see the nudity and how to say and sexuality and make love situation goes slightly in a different way. Okay, and this I will talk later. Today I'm discussing about erotic photo shoots, and another question comes from the couple. couple who's asking about how is it they can get a man into their bedroom, okay? And so, do I know any men, and will I able to provide an information on men? Of course, I know very good models, right? I know a lot of good men models who would like to join you and said this is their fantasy too. You see, it's not only that the couples have a fantasy to have a model with them for erotic photo shoot. There are models who also loving this scenario and would like to join couples. So of course I know models, okay, and of course I can make them meet, right, on certain conditions, right, and we can create those amazing fantasies in my studio or in their bedroom, in their home. That would be a location. So all that is possible. 29 messages. Thank you. Thank you for communicating. Thank you for leaving these messages. Let me check what we have in here. Okay, she's so fine. Okay, what is this? What is this? What is this? Okay, I had this question already. Okay, not one could, not one. Okay, it's been that question. Let me just check. Okay, photo shoot energy. Uh, I don't see. I could tell that there was a notice about 31 messages, but on this screen when I'm scrolling, I do not see it. So it happens, and maybe I need to learn how to check this further. But at the moment, all I see is your heart coming out, right? It's coming here, so that I see, okay. But these messages just been hidden. The American birth rate is down in critical need. Here we go. Here we go. That's what I'm talking about. So my wish and my dream is this, that I will create erotic galleries and I would exhibit around the world and every biggest country, let's say, right? I would go to New York, I would go to Paris, maybe I'll go to somewhere in Asia, maybe too, right? And London, of course, right? So imagine the biggest, but then I'm not going to be restricted to the main countries. But what I'm saying is this: that after visiting my erotic gallery, the birth in that city will go up. Can you imagine this? I imagine. I imagine. So that's why I'm here. Okay, they put me into this place so that I could talk about it, and I could create, and I create my artwork with very special couples who are in a serious relationship. When I started shooting erotica with couples, I wanted to see these people who are long time together, how they doing this, how they create this sexual experience. Okay, is it the same in the bedroom? Okay, and I spend time with them. Okay, and I get that energy from them, and so I put that energy into my artwork, because there will be many people like you, like me, you know. I came up from the place where I could not see a successful marriage. Okay, I could count on my fingers how many couples, are really doing well and loving each other and enjoying each other's company. Okay, usually, it will be just a short flick, and then there is some jealousy, or there is some fighting, or there is some drinking, or there is something going on in the couple, right? So you could see on the couple, on their faces, that something is wrong, right? So when I'm creating couples photography, most of the time people come in who are accomplished, successful relationship, and they are in this vibration for 20 years, for 30 years, okay? Not 2 or 3 years. Okay, so I've collected a lot of valuable information from around the world, you see, because my studio, it's the place when people are coming to visit London, and then they want a special adventure, and then they find me. Okay, and they travel from everywhere. Okay, not only London. So my archive is huge. And over 20 years, when I'm in adult business and I've created erotic photography, now I am thinking to go. This is my time. You see, through those years when everything was created, I kept in secret, and it was a taboo for me. I didn't even. There are photo shoots that I never looked back, and they still in my archive. I never came back to this because, first of all, I was when you create erotic photography to the content that I do, most of the time you're getting turned on when you're editing, you know. I had one photo shoot. Actually, I had this photo shoot with one actor, okay, from Hollywood, and we had more than few sessions with him, and it was such a hot shoot, okay, and he was shooting with models, and it was such a turn on that I could not even edit for a really long time this content. It was just too much because he possessed that energy, that presence, okay, that masculine information. It was just overboard, and these models were, like melting, because of him. So it was amazing. So these people who able to vibrate with this energy, they have a completely different content created, right? So when I'm shooting business shoots, and business shoots are created for corn scenarios, for OnlyFans, for independent escort, right? There is no such energy. I can tell you this because I know they are shooting for money, that's the goal, and they are shooting for fame. Okay, when there is a couple who wants to memorize how long they are together, how hot they are together, and remember this when they really get old, they have a totally different energy in the studio, different agenda, different goals. Okay, it's for passion, it's for desire, it's for their fantasy, it's for their special connection. Okay, and you see every time when you do something extraordinary with your partner, you upgrade yourself to a different level, okay, and then you are in the different vibration, you see, and that's how the game goes. You go higher and higher. The more deeper you go with your partner into such experiences, the better it gets, right? I'm talking about sexual energy. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, these are my last minutes. So let me just answer to the questions that I see. Okay, the spice and the razor sharp style is there, not cheap. Pardon the Panahan commercial corn trash. Well, I can tell you, we have the place for this, okay? We cannot say that this is unnecessary, because there was a time when this was the only educational content, okay, and people, you see, they learning when they see how others doing it. That's why when clients are contacting me, they very much keen to go into my online galleries and check what that is, okay, and how it looks like, right? It has a place for it. I'm not dismissing it completely, okay? Unfortunately, the generations, the younger generations, they learned on it, and this is their ABC. And so they do not realize what that is, the real love and real dating and real connection. They just see, body and money exchange in their head, okay? And that's how they accept their life, and very soon they will be disappointed with all of that, okay, because love has to be in here and in here, right? There is no transaction. The universe doesn't know anything about money, it doesn't know. That's why when you are very rich and you die, you can't take it. You can't take your money, but what you can take with you can take your memories, and that's why it is important to create it, because that's what's going with you to another world. not gold, and not your car, okay, and not your mansion. It's not going. But what you create in here, what you experienced, if you experienced an amazing climax with your woman who you love, and you know it's taken you to a highest realm, that's where the life and the path is. When you will be dying, if you're on the certain vibration, right? And when I say certain vibration, I am telling you that people here in a different class, some in a university and some are still in the nursery, okay? And that's okay because evolution, it happens gradually. And that's why I'm not upset when I see these questions or different kind of comments. I just know who they are, and I know that what place they are taking. They will die, and then they will get higher. Sometime in the life you can manage to go through a lot of, levels, depending on the human, depending on his path, right? So what I'm saying is that when you die, depending on what kind of a level you are, that's the death you experience you will get. There is no one death experience, okay? And the higher your vibration will be, the easier it will be, you know. And that highest climax, when people are experiencing, how to say, euphoria, right? During that amazing time together, a connection with that person, right? That's exactly how you feel when you die, you know. So this is you practicing. This is what that is you practicing being there, okay? That's only through sexual energy. The gate how you came into this world is exactly the same door to leave it. It's the same door, okay? Just people don't know this. And I am here to tell you what you need to do, how you need to practice your life, and how you need to display it for yourself. Okay? Yeah. So I hope you had a great time. Okay, and you have some ideas about this. Okay, and you learned something. Let me close this computer here. Okay, so what I'm saying about the corn, right? Everything in this world is created for a reason. Even the corn, okay? There is nothing bad or good, right? If you take it neutrally, you would understand that this is evolution and it has to be this way. Okay. So, so let me just see if we have another question. Adult McDonald's. Adult McDonald's. You know, I've never been in the adult McDonald's. Maybe you mean corn. That's funny. That's funny if that's so, okay? Right? But there was a time, okay? There was a time when McDonald's it was very popular, okay? So it has its place and it has this time. And I actually been there. I like fish fillet burgers. That's what I that's what I always order. Okay, and I like that sauce with the pickle, and I like this fish. I thought the fish is okay. The bun maybe a little bit strange, but right, but that's what I ate. So you know. Okay, thank you so much for being there. Thank you for your time. Today I was talking about photography for adults, and we create different kind of photo shoots. And of course, photo shoots for adults with the models. That was probably the main topic that we spoke. And we talked about emotional state, right? How people feel when they create photo shoots, prepare for photo shoots, and why they need photo shoots, right? How quickly they can change during analysis of themselves, of their emotional state, sexual state, body state, right? Mind and body situation. Sometimes mind and body do not match, and this is very well visible when you do that analysis with someone. When someone taking picture of you, you know why? Because your eyes looking forward, you know? They don't look this way. So that's why you see everyone else but yourself. Okay? And photography is therapy for you. It's a therapy, and it's a fast one. Okay? Because when we go into therapies, we know that therapies last long. Okay? And you need to invest a lot of time, okay, and energy in this. Phototherapy happens quite quickly. During one session, you realize and understand more about yourself than you could imagine in the whole year session. Yeah. You just need a professional who would put you in situations that you are able to unlock a lot of, how to say, files, right? And see all these errors. And then you can work towards that. And to work towards that, it is a straightforward process, because you're receiving all the artwork, and every image that you would receive from the photo shoot will maintain a certain information. Even a year after your robotic session, you would open the file and you will look at that picture, and you would remember what you was thinking when you was undressing or when you was touching or something. This is very effective and very striking, emotionally and unconsciously. Okay, that's what we're aiming. There is a conscious mind and there is an unconscious mind, and there are a lot of things you do unconsciously during that photo shoot. That is what about. Okay, thank you so much again for now. Oh, last question. This is where to say, but the way you talk is very soothing. Because I'm saying the things that you want to hear. Okay, and you are not, how to say, restricting this or objecting this or against this, because the things what you hear, it's clearly the information that you know, so you agree with it. Okay, that's why it's so simple for you to actually understand. You can't reject this. You are not arguing with me, you actually agreeing. And when you are agreeing and I'm agreeing with you, then that's why it's so smoothing. Okay, there is no conflict in here, right? Okay, thank you. Thank you right now, and have a good night, everyone. Bye. Bye, bye, bye. To the next time. Thank you so much for being. Bye.